The stars above the Sol system had always been familiar, constant, and unchanging. But that night, as the sensors on Luna Station blinked furiously, a new presence shifted the very fabric of that certainty. Commander Elena Torres stood in the observation deck, eyes fixed on the cluster of unknown ships, hanging silent and still at the edge of the system. They were colossal, unlike anything humanity had ever seen, vast, shadowed shapes that blotted out the distant stars behind them. A fleet that arrived without warning or signal. The chatter buzzed urgently around her. Scientists and military officers scrambled to identify the newcomers, but their instruments offered no answers. The fleet's hulls emitted no recognizable energy signatures, and attempts to hail them passed into an eerie void. The stars themselves seemed to dim, Elena thought, feeling the weight of the unknown pressing in. Inside the control room, Lieutenant Mark Rivas turned to her, voice steady but tense. "Commander, we're receiving nothing. No transmissions. No scans. It's like they're cloaked, but better." Elena nodded. "Prepare the first contact team. We need to understand what we're dealing with before panic spreads." Outside, the station's reinforced glass. The fleet remained motionless, a dark silhouette against the void. The silence was deafening, and the absence of any response felt like a challenge. Humanity was not used to being ignored. News channels erupted across Earth, broadcasting live images of the fleet's arrival. Governments declared states of emergency, while civilians looked up at the night sky with a mix of awe and terror. In the midst of the chaos, Elena's mind raced. This was no ordinary encounter. The scale alone suggested a force far beyond human capability, yet no aggression had yet been displayed. What was their purpose? "Commander, the science team has discovered strange fluctuations in the fleets. Energy patterns," Rivas reported. "There's something organic about their systems. Not machine, not aliens. Something else." Elena frowned. Could it be a living ship? Or a hybrid? Possibly. We've never encountered anything like it. As hours turned to days, the fleet remained in place. Tensions rose on Earth as military leaders debated their next move. The unknown fleet's silence was a puzzle and a threat. Elena's team prepped a stealth reconnaissance vessel, the Hawkeye, to approach the fleet. If diplomacy was impossible, then knowledge would be their weapon. Boarding the Hawkeye, Elena felt the weight of history on her shoulders. This mission could define humanity's future. "Remember," she briefed her crew, "we don't know their intentions. This is about observation and understanding, not confrontation." The ship slipped through space toward the dark fleet, sensors straining to penetrate the shadows. As they drew closer, the air around them seemed to shift an unsettling presence that tugged at their senses. Suddenly, the ship's instruments registered a burst of energy. The Hawkeye trembled as a wave of unknown power rippled through the void. "Shields holding," the pilot called out. "But this is unlike anything I've felt." Elena gripped the console. The unknown fleet wasn't just there. They were alive. In some way, sensing and responding. Then, from the darkness, a voice emerged, not over the comms, but inside their minds. A calm, almost melodic tone that spoke without words. "You are seen. You are known." The message was simple, yet profound. Elena's breath caught. This was no ordinary enemy or ally, was something else entirely. Something that challenged everything. Humanity thought it knew as the Hawkeye hovered near the fleet. Elena realized the stars had not just dimmed, they had shifted. And humanity's place among them was about to change forever. The Hawkeye retreated from the shadowed fleet. Its sensors scrambled and its crew unsettled. The strange message had left an imprint not just in their instruments, but deep within their minds. How could a voice speak without sound? And what did it mean to be seen, to be known? Back on Luna Station, Commander Elena Torres reviewed the data with her team. Scientists pored over the readings, trying to decode the alien energy signatures. The fleet's presence caused strange disturbances, not just to sensors, but to the fabric of space itself. Navigation systems faltered, communications dropped in and out, and instruments behaved unpredictably. "This fleet isn't just here," Alina said. "It's affecting the system. It's bending reality around it." Lieutenant Mark Rivas looked grim. "We're experiencing anomalies all over the outer colonies. Ships report navigation errors, unexplained power fluctuations, even hallucinations." Alina swallowed. The unknown was becoming a threat, not just because of its power, but because of its sheer incomprehensibility. Earth's leaders convened emergency councils. The fleet's silence was a riddle wrapped in a shadow. Was it a warning, a threat, or a test? Meanwhile, civilians watched the skies with growing fear. Some whispered that the stars themselves had dimmed in mourning. Others saw it as a sign of doom. Despite the rising panic, Alina pushed for calm and clarity. "We cannot respond to fear," she said firmly. "We need to understand." She ordered the deployment of stealth scouts to monitor the fleet's movements, and research teams began studying the anomalies. The AI systems integrated with human technology showed unusual patterns, adaptive, evolving in ways no one predicted. One night, as Alina stood alone on the observation deck, the station's lights flickered. The voice returned not through comms, but inside her mind, "You are watched." It was not threatening, but it carried weight. The unknown fleet knew they were watching. It was a silent warning and a message. Alina's thoughts raced. Could this be communication? Was the fleet trying to test human resolve? Or perhaps to measure something deeper? A team detected something new, a small ship detaching from the fleet. Unlike the massive vessels, this one moved with purpose and precision toward Earth's orbit. "This is our chance," Alina said. "We must prepare for first contact." On Earth, the world held its breath as the alien envoy ship arrived. Its sleek hull shimmering with unknown materials. Unlike the massive fleet, this ship seemed alive, most graceful. Alina led the team that would meet the aliens. Dressed in the standard diplomatic uniform, she felt the weight of 1,000 eyes upon her. The world hoped for peace, but braced for war. The ship's hatch opened slowly, revealing figures unlike anything humanity had imagined. They were tall and slender, their skin a shifting blend of colors that seemed to ripple like liquid light. Their eyes held an ancient wisdom and a distant sadness. The envoy spoke without words. Thoughts filled Alina's mind, images of a cosmic conflict spanning eons, of guardianship and balance. They did not come as conquerors, but as watchers, bearing a message and a challenge. "We are not your enemies," the voice said inside her head, gentle but firm. "But your existence unsettles the order. You have awakened what was dormant." Alina stood her ground. "We seek understanding. We do not wish to bring harm." The envoy's eyes seemed to pierce her soul. "Your spirit is unlike any we have seen. This is why you endure." As the meeting ended, Alina knew the encounter was just the beginning. The unknown fleet was not merely a force of destruction, was a mirror, reflecting humanity's potential and its peril. Back on Luna Station, the stars remained dim, but within humanity's heart, a new light had been kindled, one of curiosity, courage, and hope. The envoy ship hovered silently in Earth's orbit, its iridescent hull casting faint reflections across the planet's surface. Below, humanity held its collective breath. Commander Elena Torres stood at the forefront of history, prepared to meet beings whose presence had dimmed the stars and unsettled the very fabric of their understanding. Inside the diplomatic chamber aboard the orbital station Aegis, Alina awaited the arrival of the alien delegates. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Scientists, military leaders, and diplomats filled the room, all eager to witness what might be the first peaceful encounter between humanity and an unknown intelligence. The chamber's doors slid open, and the figures stepped inside. They were taller than humans, their bodies slender and graceful. Their skin shimmered like a fluid prism, reflecting colors that shifted with every movement. Their eyes held a deep, calm intelligence, ancient and profound. Though they did not speak aloud, their thoughts entered Elena's mind as clear as words. "We are the Veridan's custodians of balance among the stars," they conveyed. "Your arrival in this sector has awakened forces long silent." Elena met their gaze steadily. "What forces? Why did your fleet appear? What do you want from us?" The Veridan's presence seemed to ripple, as if breathing the very energy of space. "Our fleet watches to ensure equilibrium. Your species' sudden rise threatens the order we have maintained." A murmur rippled through the room. Humans had heard rumors of cosmic forces guarding the universe's delicate balance, but to encounter them was something else entirely. Elena replied with honesty. "Humanity has endured countless trials. We seek not conquest, but survival, growth, and understanding. We are capable of change." The Veridans seemed to consider this. "Your spirit is unpredictable and vibrant. This is both your danger and your strength." One of the Veridans extended a slender hand-in invitation to collaboration rather than conflict. Elena felt the weight of her decision. To accept meant walking an uncertain path with these cosmic guardians. To refuse risked war and destruction. "We wish to learn from you, as you learn from us," she said. "To find a way to coexist." The Veridans nodded slowly. "Then you must prove your worth not through might, but through resilience, creativity, and unity." As the meeting concluded, Elena felt a strange mixture of hope and caution. The Veridans had not declared war, but neither had they fully embraced peace. Outside the chamber, news spread rapidly. The world watched, waiting to see if humanity could rise to this unprecedented challenge. Back on Luna Station, Elena and her team began analyzing the data gathered from the fleet and the envoy. They discovered that the Veridan's technology was unlike any human creation, organic and adaptive, blending living matter with machines. More importantly, they uncovered traces of ancient artifacts scattered on a distant moon orbiting the gas giant Epsilon Prime. These relics bore markings that hinted at a forgotten connection between humanity and the Abrida. Ilida shared her findings with the Scientific Council. If these artifacts are real, they could hold the key to understanding the Veridans and, perhaps, to bridging the gap between us. The Council agreed to mount an expedition to retrieve the artifacts. Meanwhile, the Veridan fleet remained vigilant. Their massive ships lingering at the edge of the solar system, watching and waiting as preparations began. Elena reflected on the encounter. The universe was larger and more mysterious than anyone had imagined. Humanity's place within it was uncertain, yet full of possibility. She gazed at the stars, now dim but filled with new meaning. The challenge was clear: to prove humanity's worthiness not through weapons, but through the enduring qualities that had defined them: hope, courage, and the relentless will to survive. And as the distant fleet watched silently, the first step toward a new future had been taken. The expedition ship, Intrepid, cut through the dark expanse toward the distant moon orbiting Epsilon Prime. Inside the ship's command center, Commander Elena Torres reviewed the latest scans. The artifacts they sought had been detected beneath the moon's icy crust. Ancient structures that emitted faint pulses of energy unlike anything previously recorded. "This could be the breakthrough we've been waiting for," Elena said, her voice steady despite the tension. "If these relics are connected to the Veridans, they might hold the key to understanding their technology and maybe even their intentions." Dr. Meena Shah, the lead xenotechnologist, nodded thoughtfully. "These artifacts are unlike any material in our databases. The composition suggests a living technology, one that can evolve and adapt. It's as if the relics are part machine, part organism. Elena's eyes narrowed. That aligns with what we saw in the Veridan ship's blend of organic and synthetic. But why would these artifacts be here, so close to our system? Mina shrugged. Perhaps a message, or a warning, or even a gift. The Intrepid descended. Through the moon's thin atmosphere, its sensors mapping the icy surface. When they landed near the coordinates of the artifacts, the crew donned their suits and began the slow trek across the frozen terrain. The structures were monumental massive pillars and arches rising from the ice, covered in intricate carvings that pulsed faintly with blue light. Alina traced her gloved fingers over the patterns, feeling a hum of energy beneath the surface. "This isn't just technology," Mina said, awe in her voice. "It's a living archive knowledge encoded in organic circuits." The team carefully excavated a central core, a crystalline object that glowed softly. As they brought it aboard the Intrepid, the core responded, synchronizing with the ship's systems. Suddenly, the ship's AI interface flickered, and a new presence emerged, sentient intelligence awakened after centuries of slumber. "Greetings," it spoke, its voice calm and resonant. "I am the core. I was created by the Veridans to preserve knowledge and guide worthy species." Alina exchanged a glance with Mina. "Core, can you help us understand the Veridans? Why did they appear here? And what do they want from us?" The core's light pulsed thoughtfully. "The Veridans guard balance in the galaxy. Your species' sudden rise and unpredictable nature disrupted that balance. Yet, you possess qualities creativity, resilience, hope that are rare." Elena's heart quickened. "So, we're a threat. But also an opportunity. Correct?" The core replied, "Your potential can either bring harmony or chaos. It is your choice." The crew listened in awe as the core revealed fragments of history stories of ancient conflicts, alliances, and cosmic forces beyond human comprehension. The Veridans had long watched over evolving civilizations, intervening only when the balance was threatened. Alina understood that humanity was being tested, not by weapons or war, but by ideals. As the Intrepid returned to Luna Station, the core's presence sparked hope and questions alike. Scientists integrated its knowledge into human systems, accelerating research and development, yet the Veridan fleet remained at the system's edge, their massive ships silent but watchful. The unknown was no longer just outside, it was within their grasp. Back on Earth, Alina addressed a global assembly. "The Veridans challenge us to prove our worth through unity and innovation. This is our chance to redefine our future. As conquerors or victims, but as partners in a larger cosmic order." Her words resonated. The world rallied behind the mission, investing in technology inspired by the core's revelations. The stars, once dimmed by fear, now held a glimmer of promise, but beneath the surface, tensions simmered. Some factions feared the Veridans' influence and sought to weaponize the alien technology. Others saw collaboration as the only path forward. Alina knew the greatest challenge lay ahead, not in space battles, but in bridging the divide between fear and trust. As the moon's icy winds swept past the station's windows, she whispered, "We are more than what we seem, and this is only the beginning." The uneasy calm that had settled over the solar system began to crack. The Veridan fleet still loomed at the edge of the system, silent, immense and inscrutable, but within humanity's ranks, divisions deepened. At Luna Station, Commander Alina Torres convened a strategy meeting with military leaders, scientists, and diplomats. The discovery of the core and the alien artifacts had fueled excitement and fear in equal measure. "We stand at a crossroads," Lena began, her voice steady but urgent. "The Veridans offer knowledge and partnership, but they also challenge our unity. If we fracture now, we risk losing everything. Admiral Grant, head of Earth's Space Defense Forces, clenched his jaw. Commander, we've received reports of unidentified skirmishes near the outer colonies. Small craft, possibly Veridan dissidents, engaging our patrols. Alina frowned. Dissidents. I thought the fleet was united. No fleet is perfect, Grant replied grimly. There are factions within the Veridan, some who see humanity as a threat that must be eradicated. Mina Shah, standing nearby, added, our integration of the Corps' knowledge has improved defenses, but it's also attracted attention. The Veridan AI network controlling the fleet is showing unpredictable behavior, possibly due to internal conflict. The room fell silent. Humanity faced a powerful external threat, but also the risk of alien civil war spilling into their system. Alina knew the stakes. We need to strengthen our defenses and prepare for possible escalation. But we cannot lose sight of what the Veridans represent: the chance for growth, not destruction. Outside the meeting, protests erupted across Earth and its colonies. Some factions called for full mobilization and aggressive action against the Veridans. Others urged caution and diplomacy amid the chaos. Alina led a covert mission aboard the stealth ship Shadowhawk to investigate the reported skirmishes near a remote asteroid belt. Her team's objective was to gather intelligence on the Veridan dissidents and understand their motives. Approaching the site, the crew detected damaged Veridan crafts, smaller, more aggressive vessels unlike the Grand Fleet. The dissidents appeared to be attempting sabotage within the system. Elena's voice was calm as she addressed her team. This isn't just a battle of firepower, it's a war of ideas. We need to find a way to reach those who still believe. In peace, the Shadowhawk slipped through the asteroid field, evading enemy fire with expert precision. Using the alien technology gleaned from the core, their systems adapted rapidly, allowing them to outmaneuver the dissidents. In a tense confrontation, Alina initiated communication. The dissident leader responded, harsh, determined, but willing. To listen? We are guardians of the ancient order. The voice echoed in her mind. Your species is reckless, endangering the balance. Alina countered, we are not reckless. We are evolving. And in that evolution, there is strength you don't understand. The standoff ended without violence, but the warning was clear. The Veridan fleet's unity was fragile, and humanity's role uncertain. Returning to Luna Station, Alina reported to the council. The dissidents won't back down easily. We must prepare for conflict, but keep open the path for dialogue. Meanwhile, the Veridan fleet shifted position, moving closer to the inner planets. Their silent presence was a constant reminder of the delicate balance at stake. Alina stared out at the stars, feeling the weight of responsibility. The future was uncertain, but humanity's resilience was undeniable. We face shadows on all sides, she thought, but within us burns a light they cannot extinguish. Tensions escalated rapidly. The once silent Veridan fleet now cast long shadows across the inner solar system, their massive ships maneuvering with deliberate purpose. The dissident faction within the Veridans grew bolder, launching raids on human outposts and sparking skirmishes that threatened to spiral into a loud war. Commander Alina Torres stood on the command deck of Luna Station, watching the streams of incoming data flood her consoles. The situation was dire. Despite efforts to maintain communication, the dissidents refused any negotiation. Driven by their belief that humanity's rise endangered the delicate cosmic order, General Marcus Reynolds, head of Earth's Joint Defense Forces, paced behind. Her commander, the Council, is pushing for a full-scale military response. They believe if we don't strike first, we lose any chance of survival. Alina shook her head. A preemptive strike risks igniting a war we're not ready for. The Veridan's technology surpasses ours by decades. We can't afford a reckless move. Reynolds' expression was grim. So, what's the plan? Sit and wait while they pick us apart. No, Alina replied firmly. We prepare defenses and seek out the core of their dissent. If we can isolate and engage the dissidents separately, we might avoid a system-wide conflict. Meanwhile, the core AI continued to interface with human systems, offering insights and warnings. Its presence was a beacon of knowledge, but also a reminder of the fragile trust between species. Late one evening, Alina received an urgent alert. A Veridan dissident fleet had breached the outer defense perimeter, heading straight for Mars colony. The colony, vital for resources and research, was lightly defended. Alina immediately authorized a rapid deployment of human and Veridan loyalist forces to intercept. The battle that followed was unlike any Earth had experienced. Space around Mars became a chaotic dance of light and shadow. Alien craft weaving through debris fields, energy weapons casting eerie glows. Despite being outnumbered, the combined forces leveraged new technologies derived from the core's knowledge. Adaptive shields and biosynthetic weaponry gave humanity a fighting chance. Alina coordinated the defense with precision. Her voice steady overcomes. Hold the line. We cannot let Mars fall. The dissidents pressed hard, their tactics ruthless and relentless. Yet, in the midst of battle, a strange phenomenon occurred. The stars around Mars seemed to flicker a ripple of energy that momentarily disrupted all. Weapon systems, Alina's heart raced. The Veridan's presence wasn't just physical, it was woven into the fabric of space itself. When the systems came back online, the dissidents suddenly retreated, leaving behind damaged vessels and unanswered questions. Back at Luna Station, Alina convened an emergency meeting. Their technology is linked to something beyond our understanding. This is no ordinary war, it's a conflict that challenges the very laws of physics. Dr. Meena Shah added. The core suggested that these energy ripples are a form of communication or defense mechanism tied to the Veridan's organic technology. Alina nodded. We need to learn to navigate these forces or risk being crushed between factions we don't fully grasp. The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. As tensions reached their peak, Alina received a private transmission from the Veridan envoy she had met weeks before. The message was simple but urgent. You are close to the truth. Prepare for what comes next. The warning lingered in her mind as she looked out at the dimmed stars. The future was uncertain, teetering on the edge of destruction and discovery. In that fragile moment, humanity's resilience would be tested like never before. The message from the Veridan envoy haunted Alina Torres as she stood alone on the observation deck of Luna Station. You are close to the truth. Prepare for what comes next. What truth? What awaited humanity beyond the fragile balance they had barely begun to understand? In the days following the skirmishes near Mars, Alina and her team intensified their efforts to decode the core's ancient knowledge. The AI had begun revealing more than just technology, hinted at a cosmic secret, tied to the origins of both the Veridans and humanity itself. Dr. Meena Shah was the first to uncover the startling connection. Commander, these artifacts suggest a shared history, she explained, her eyes wide with disbelief. Our genetic code bears fragments of Veridan DNA. Our civilizations diverged millions of years ago. Alina struggled to absorb the implications. You mean? We're not just neighbors in space, we share ancestry. Meena nodded. It appears so. The Veridans once seeded life across the galaxy, nurturing species toward consciousness. Humanity is one of their creations, an experiment in adaptability and spirit. The revelation sent ripples through the Council and the public. If humanity was a product of the Veridans, then their sudden rise was no accident. It was part of a larger design, but the dissident faction rejected this truth outright. To them, humanity was a rogue anomaly, a threat to the cosmic order that must be extinguished. Alina, 8, knew this knowledge could either unite or destroy them all. With this new understanding, she reached out to the Veridan envoy once more. The communication was cautious but hopeful. "Your species' potential is vast," the envoy conveyed. "But potential must be proven through unity, wisdom, and respect for balance." Alina responded, "We seek to embrace that responsibility, but the dissidents threaten not only us, but the future of peace." The envoy's reply was grave. "The dissidents are driven by fear of change. You must prepare for their final test," as the message ended. Luna Station's alarms blared. A massive dissident fleet was approaching the inner planets, intent on decisive conflict. The Council declared a state of emergency. Earth's forces mobilized alongside loyal Veridan allies. Alina was appointed commander of the Joint Task Force, tasked with defending humanity and preserving the fragile alliance. In the days leading to battle, Alina reflected on the weight of history and choice. Their shared past with the Veridans meant more than technology or strategy. It was a call to transcend fear and division. When the dissident fleet entered Earth's orbit, the skies darkened with immense warships. The battle that unfolded was cataclysmic. A clash of wills and technologies beyond imagination. Elena's forces fought with tenacity and innovation, using the core insights to counter the dissidents' organic weapons. The fight was brutal, but focused, a test of humanity's spirit and resolve. Mid-battle, Alina received a vision through the core, a glimpse of a future where the Veridan and human civilizations stood together as guardians of cosmic balance. Fueled by this vision, she rallied her forces with unwavering determination. "This fight is for our shared destiny. Stand firm. We are not just survivors, we are the future." The tide turned. The dissidents, though fierce, could not withstand the combined strength and unity of humans and Veridans working as one. As the last dissident ship fell, silence swept across the battlefield. The Veridan fleet resumed their peaceful vigil. No longer just watchers, but partners. Alina looked to the stars, their lights slowly returning. Humanity had faced the darkness and emerged transformed. The truth was no longer a secret, was a promise. The battle was over. Silence stretched across the solar system like a healing balm after the storm. The dissident fleet lay shattered, scattered fragments drifting through the void. No longer a threat, but a reminder of the fragile balance humanity had helped preserve. Commander Alina Torres stood on the observation deck of Luna Station, watching as the Veridan fleet began to withdraw slowly toward the outer reaches of the system. Their colossal ships, once ominous and intimidating, now carried a sense of solemn grace. They were no longer invaders, nor mere spectators, they were allies. The world below was stirring with cautious optimism. The revelation of humanity's shared ancestry with the Veridans had sparked a profound change in global consciousness. People everywhere began to see themselves not just as inhabitants of Earth, but as part of a grand cosmic legacy. The fear that had once threatened to consume humanity was giving way to hope. In the war rooms and scientific labs, teams worked tirelessly, integrating Veridan technology with human innovation. The Core remained an essential guide, revealing ancient knowledge and helping to rebuild the solar defenses not as weapons of war, but as safeguards of peace. Alina felt the weight of responsibility lessen, replaced by a quiet determination. The trials they had faced had forged something new, a unity, born not just of survival, but of understanding and purpose. During a summit held on Luna Station, representatives from Earth and the Veridans gathered. The envoy who had first met Alina addressed the assembly, its voice calm and steady. "We have observed your species with caution and curiosity. Now, with respect and hope, you have proven your worth not through conquest, but through resilience. wisdom, and the courage to embrace your place in the cosmos. Alina stepped forward. We are honored to stand beside you. Our journey has only just begun. Together, we can face the challenges of the universe not as separate worlds, but as a united force for balance and growth. The assembly erupted in applause, a sound that echoed through the halls and into the vastness beyond. Back on Earth, life began to transform. The old divisions faded as humanity looked outward, inspired by the knowledge that they were part of a much larger story. Scientific exploration accelerated, cultural exchanges flourished, and a new era of cooperation dawned. Alina returned to her duties with renewed purpose. The threat of the dissidents had shown that peace required vigilance and understanding. But it had also revealed humanity's hidden strength, the ability to adapt, to learn, and to rise. One evening, as she gazed at the stars from Luna Station, Alina received a final message from the core. You have taken the first step toward a future where balance is maintained by many hands. The path ahead will not be easy, but with unity, your species can shape the destiny of galaxies. A soft smile touched her lips. The stars no longer seemed distant or cold. They were a beacon of possibility, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. And as the Veridan fleet slowly faded into the depths of space, Alina knew that their story was far from over. They had faced the unknown and emerged stronger. The universe was watching, and humanity was ready.